The body is well galvanized and rust will not appear in it even after many years of operation, provided that the car has not been involved in an accident. And if you see a car with slight traces of corrosion, then it is better to refuse to buy such a car. If you are considering a pre-styling version for yourself, then most likely in the secondary market you will find a car imported from Europe. When choosing such a car, be extremely careful, since the runs of such cars are simply cosmic. Traditionally, for European cars, the Audi A3 has a large selection power units. But if you look at the offers of this car in the secondary market, you will see that the most common engines are before restyling: 1.6, 102 horsepower, after restyling 1.6, 115 horsepower, as well as 1.4, 125 horsepower. If the dynamics of the car is not in the first place for you, then I recommend that you pay attention to cars with 1.6 engines. The fact is that these are quite reliable atmospheric engine with a timing belt drive, which needs to be replaced every 90,000 kilometers. Also, in terms of reliability, a 2-liter 150 horsepower atmospheric engine is not bad, although this power unit was installed only until 2007. But the 1.4 turbo engine, despite the fact that it has had very good performance in dynamics and fuel consumption, has not the best fame due to the unreliability metal timing chain tensioner. If you already own a car with such an engine, then be extremely careful and listen to the sounds from under the hood when starting the engine. If new rattling sounds appear, you need to urgently contact the service. Also, try to change the oil earlier than prescribed in the regulations, every 8–10,000 kilometers. Further, in terms of prevalence, power units with a volume of 1.8, 160 horsepower and a 2-liter turbo engine 200 horsepower follow. In principle, these are not bad engines. Their main drawback is increased oil consumption, and with increasing mileage their appetite increases. For cars with a mileage of more than 200,000 kilometers, expensive oil consumption can exceed 500 milliliters per 1,000 kilometers. There are also cars with turbo diesel engine of 1.9 and 2.0 liters. Both power units are not bad in dynamics and reliability. Audi A3 with such engine is a rarity in the secondary market, and if you manage to find a good and worthy option, then all you need to do is fill in high-quality oil and diesel fuel. During the life of this model, there were also a couple of charged power units. This is 3.2, 250 horsepower, and 2.0, 265 horsepower. There are only a few cars with such engines in the secondary market, and it is better to avoid them, since there is a high probability that the previous owners often lead on such a car. The second generation of the model has a fairly large number of available gearboxes: mechanics, automatic transmission, robotic 6 and 7-speed S-tronic. The most unreliable among all gearboxes was the robotic S-tronic. So a 6-speed transmission with 2 wet clutches can please with a mileage of 120,000 kilometers and with proper operation up to 150,000 kilometers. But the 7-speed one lives many times less, and already at a run of 50,000 kilometers with prolonged traffic and traffic jams, it starts to twitch. As a result, it will be necessary to refresh the control unit and change the clutch, and the pleasure is not cheap. At least such a repair will cost 1000 USD. The replacement of mechatronics, a chronic sore of all robotic transmission, will also hit your pocket. You will have to pay about 2000 USD for its replacement, and these are not dealer's price. Repairs will cost much more for the officials. When choosing a used Audi A3, it is better to give preference to versions with a manual transmission and automatic transmission, since both transmissions are very reliable and rarely cost trouble to owners. The clutch on the mechanics takes care of 120–150,000 kilometers. In order for the automatic transmission to faithfully serve 300,000 kilometers, change the oil in it every 60,000 kilometers. There are also all-wheel drive versions. The all-wheel drive system in this case is implemented using the well-known and reliable Hendrix clutch. The Audi A3 is very pleasant to drive, therefore, in combination with a powerful engine, this car can combine the role of a family hatchback and a car to satisfy drivers' ambitions. The suspension design is not complicated, but not quite simple either. A McPherson-type suspension is installed in front and a multi-link design in the back. Large investments in the suspension will have to be made every 100,000 kilometers, and for small things it will be necessary to change the bushings and stabilizer struts every 35–50,000 kilometers, and brake pads every 40,000 kilometers. The resource of shock absorbers does not exist 100,000 kilometers. Silent blocks are considered the weak point of the rear suspension. On average, they nurse 80,000 kilometers. The car is equipped with a power steering. This unit has proven to be quite reliable and with careful operation will not bother 120–150,000 kilometers. If you are the owner of this car model, please describe the problems that you had to face during the operation of the car. Perhaps it is your review that will help readers of our site when choosing a car.